It's Brainwashed with Dr. Tom and Vocal Chords with Peggy Hustad. Pat Benatar, We Belong.
We belong to the light, we belong to the thunder. We belong to the sound of the words we've both fallen under. Whatever we deny or embrace, for worse or for better, we belong, we belong, we belong together. Yeah, she's another rock star with an excellent voice, and another woman who can really project power and energy and strength, and she's just got a gorgeous, seems like an opera-trained voice.
Mm-hmm. Actually, she does.
I thought I had heard that. And I chose this over, this song, We Belong, over some of her more powerful songs, though, because it's really sweet, and you have these children's voices in the back, and it's hard to do children's voices right, and I think this song does.
You have to be younger, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, sometimes it just sounds cloying or something. Sounds too sweet. But this works for me anyway. Mm-hmm. And it has this, it's a love song, but it has that message that you can go beyond your mundane kind of problems, and there's a higher level, a greater level. Your love's kind of bigger than those things. Mm-hmm. I feel like the chorus talks about that a lot. Mm-hmm. So I like it.
Well, any of these that we've either talked about or will talk about, well, which of these is your earliest remembrance?
Queen's probably one of my earlier ones. I was listening to them when I started really listening to the radio and really listening to rock and roll. Mm-hmm. So, and obviously meeting them, that was a big part of it, because I listened to their albums over and over and over and over. My dad really got tired of it. So I think that whole band. Yeah. Freddie Mercury, I say he because he's such a great singer, and I just think of him as the band. It's hard for me to imagine them going on without him, really, but yeah. They'd probably be the ones that impacted me the earliest. Mm-hmm.
It's Brainwashed with Dr. Tom and Vocal Chords with Peggy Hustad. Peter Gabriel, In Your Eyes.
I love that song. It's gorgeous. Mm-hmm. And like a lot of my favorite songs, it has a deeper meaning. It's got even a spiritual meaning. And I don't know that I thought of it as a spiritual song until Nicole Nordeman did a cover of it. And because it talks about fruitless searches and doorways to thousands of churches, and how, we're seeking, we're trying to find love, And another reason I like it, it's got the world music kind of feel to it. And I really like world music because it makes themes like the quest for love or spiritual meaning more universal to me. It's not just locked into this, Western industrialized nation kind of music. Mm-hmm. And I feel like Peter Gabriel's voice is really warm and emotional, and he really sings passionately, and that's a big thing for me with singers, is that they have an emotion and a passion. And I feel like I probably do a little bit better job singing female artists than male artists, because they're going to be more like my voice. It's more like my pitch.
It's funny how that works out.
Yeah, so I probably chose more female vocalists in general.
Yeah,
than
that's
I did
right.
Male vocalists.
Yeah. So we don't have any bassos in here, right?
No.
No.
I can't go that
No bass singing.
But I love Genesis, and I could have chosen a Genesis song, but this is definitely my favorite of anything Peter Gabriel's done.
Okay, it's Brainwashed with Dr. Tom and Vocal Chords with Peggy Hustad. You two, Where the Streets Have No Name.
Where the streets have no name, where the streets have no name, we're still building, then burning down love, burning down love I go there with you. It's all I can do. Bono is another example of a singer that really has amazing power and emotion and passion. And I did not know that Bono and U2 were so spiritually connected until more recently, as I've been starting to learn about Christian music. And so now when I look at the lyrics and have that extra layer to it, it's a lot more interesting. It has a lot more meaning. And I love this song. I remember when I was driving to a band practice, and I lived in Greensboro, and everybody else was meeting in Durham, and I remember listening to this song, and it's a great song when you're driving, because it has movement. It has a lot of energy, and the guitar at the beginning starts nice and slow, but then it picks up the pace, and it's kind of like horses starting to gallop and starting to run. And then Bono starts in with his first line, "I want to run." And you're like, oh yeah, that works. And the organ at the beginning sets this spiritual tone that I'd already been subconsciously hooked into, this idea that it has this really inspiring, uplifting kind of feel to it, before I even read the lyrics. So, and heaven is where the streets have no name.
It's Brainwashed with Dr. Tom and Vocal Chords with Peggy Hustad. We've asked Peggy to select 20 influence songs for discussion and demonstration. We've surveyed 10 of those. We have another 10 to go. And the next one is Sting, Fragile.
Perhaps this final act was meant to clinch a lifetime's argument, but nothing comes from violence, and nothing ever could. For all those born beneath an angry star, lest we forget how fragile we are. Like Bono, Sting uses his power to make a difference in the world, in my opinion. And he really, in his messages and actually in what he does, outside of music, he protests a lot of things, injustice and violence and war, and I feel like this song is evidence of that. It's very simple, but it's very true. And I love his voice. I have more Sting CDs than any other individual artist. One of the reasons I like Sting, and I love the Police, and if I had 40 songs that I was allowed to do, the Police would be all over the place. He has been doing, since the days of being with the Police, a lot of blending genres. There's a lot of reggae rock, and I don't listen to reggae, pure, reggae, but when it's mixed with rock, I'm there, jazz rock, I don't listen to jazz usually on its own, but if you mix the two, I'm all over the place. So, and then pretty much most of what Sting writes I like. So, and I really like songwriters and singers that do a variety of genres. I don't like when they stick to the same kind of thing all the time. I need variety. So, and he's got this nice Latin guitar kind of sound that I really like. So it's just a gorgeous song.